first trimester trenches. I am officially 16 weeks today, and because I am a couple weeks into my second trimester, I thought it would be perfect to talk about symptoms I had in my first trimester. So every single week that passed, I would write down the symptoms that I had. So thankfully, I have my little notes here to remind me of all the little symptoms that I was going through. So I found out I was pregnant December 14. At this point, I believe I was 3 weeks and 6 days. What made me take the test was the fact that I was 4 days late in my period. And my period is very like on the clock, on the dot, so I knew something was up. So if I'm being honest, weeks 3 to 5, I was honestly just having symptoms as if my period was gonna come. Like I was having a little bit of cramping, I was a little moody, I had a little bit more of an appetite for like salty things, which are all symptoms that I would have like right before my period was coming. That's why on that part, I didn't think I was having any weird symptoms, because those are the symptoms that I usually have right before my period comes. Only my period is usually on time. So week 5, I wrote down I had cramping, bloating, I was happy, anxious, a lot of like random acne marks. Like I was getting a lot of like pimples. And again, when my period is coming, I break out, but I was breaking out a little bit more this time for some reason. I put here, I feel so ugly. And then I remember specifically that day looking in the mirror and looking at myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, me veo demacrada. Like I look like a freaking corpse. Like I feel so ugly. And I told my husband, I was like, babe, I think it's a girl, because they say, okay, when it's a girl, you know, she like takes away like all your beauty, and if it's a boy, he like gives you all the beauty. So I was like, I feel so ugly and I look this ugly, like it has to be a girl. I still don't know if it's a girl or not, but that's what I said. Week 6, and I'm sorry I'm reading my phone by, I don't have these all memorized, but week 6, I put that I was starving all day and that I felt like a bottomless pit. And I remember I was eating everything and anything, like way more than I usually do. And I put that I had to eat something or I would feel uneasy, which is something I still deal with actually. Like if I don't eat when I get hungry, I start to like feel like my life is just gonna fade away. And then I noticed for the first time that were getting darker and bigger, and that threw me off. That genuinely threw me off. Lulu decided to join us. Week 7, so I have extreme fatigue, food aversions to beans. Nothing sounded super appealing. Oh yeah, and we went to eat Thai food and with my mom and my dad and my hubby, and I usually always get like the chicken pad Thai. That's like one of my favorite meals to get. Tell me why, I just ate it like without like truly enjoying it. Like it honestly, like the flavor, I felt like it didn't have the same flavor, it didn't taste the same. I felt like someone grabbed my taste buds and like scraped them off or something, because I literally could not taste like the flavor that it usually has. And I know they did it good because it was like the place where I usually like to eat. So yeah, I don't know, I didn't enjoy the plate I usually enjoy. Another incident that happened that week. So we were supposed to drive from Oregon to Washington, which is about like 8 hours. We were gonna go visit some friends before we made our move to Puerto Rico. And the road there in the beginning is windy. Tell me why. We made it, I think, like 40 minutes, and we had to drive back because I was so nauseous. I don't know if it was because of the roads being windy or because of like the pregnancy itself, but we literally had to come back home. And I got home and I literally just like ate like a little something. It just went straight to bed. And then the nausea wore off. But that was really like the one and only time that I actually experienced nausea, because as you guys will see, I didn't really have any nausea this pregnancy or vomiting. I actually never even vomited. Week 8 was when we flew to Puerto Rico, was when we grabbed our little suitcases, grabbed my little baby, my dog, and made our way to a whole new different country, 8 weeks pregnant. And I was just really fatigued, really exhausted. One of the airplanes that we caught when we were landing, there was like an insane amount of turbulence. And that was like the one and only time where I dry heaved, where I was like literally like going like this and like feeling like I was actually gonna throw up, but I never did. And then as soon as we landed, I waited like five, 10 minutes and it went away. So it was weird because I've flown a lot and I've never gotten nauseous, never gotten queasy, had any issues when traveling. But this time, 8 weeks pregnant with the turbulence when we were landing, it was scary. I like got pale, I was like sweating cold, dry heaving, like it was not fun, but thankfully I did not throw up. I did not want to throw up. I hate throwing up. Week 8 was it when it finally clicked in my brain that I have to eat something every 2 hours. When we would go out, like say we were gonna go out shopping or go to the beach or something, I already knew that I was gonna have to carry in my purse like an orange or some cookies or like a protein shake or something, because when that hunger hit, if I did not eat something right away, I legitimately felt like I was dying. Like I thought the lights were gonna go out and I was just gonna wither away. So week 8 is when my body was just like asking for some kind of like food and caloric energy literally every 2 hours. And then that's when I realized, oh shoot, if I don't eat, I'm gonna feel like horrible. Week 9 was actually so special because this is when we had our ultrasound and it was our very first one. And so I found out that day I was 9 weeks and 5 days. Week 8 also is when I found my love for cereal. I was literally eating cereal for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, especially like right before bed. The cereal was just hitting differently. When I was younger, I really liked the honey bunches of oats, like the honey flavor or the vanilla flavor. I can't remember. But I don't know why in this pregnancy, I was like craving that specific cereal and it like took me back to my childhood. But you girls know, my pregnant girls know that cereal just hits every little spot, checks all the check marks. But yeah, me and cereal were besties. So week 9, I also experienced some constipation and I was craving fresh fruit, a lot of fresh fruit and like cold drinks, fresh fruit and cold drinks. And heartburn, you guys. I had such bad heartburn. I've never ever in my life suffered from heartburn. So I was like, what the heck is this? Why do I have heartburn? I was like, the baby is like this big. Why am I having heartburn? I thought that just happened when the baby was like big and like pushing up on everything, but no, I was having heartburn at 9 weeks. Week 10, I put hunger starting to get more under control. I don't have to eat every 2 hours. And I'm back to eating my regular scheduled food. So what I did pre-pregnancy, I would always have like 3 meals and usually like a snack or 2 in between. So that's what I was doing again. Okay, and then at this point, I'm still eating and craving a lot of fresh fruit, and cereal is still part of my daily food regimen. And then here, I realized my naps started to get a little shorter. I realized I could get through the day with just 1 to 2 hours instead of like 2 to 4 hours. So that was good. And then I also developed like really crazy insomnia. I was having some really rough nights where I could not fall asleep, and I would literally at like 3 in the morning just like start crying hysterically, and then I would wake up my husband and he'd be like super worried because it was just so frustrating that I couldn't sleep. Like I was tired, I was exhausted, I could not fall asleep. Like my mind was just like like it would not stop. So I did have some pretty bad insomnia there for a little bit. I got really emotional, I was crying a lot, and then I was like having to pee all the freaking time. Like I was getting up at night at least like 2 times to go pee. Even if it was just like a little like psh, it felt like it was a lot. So the worst thing about having to pee all the freaking time when you're pregnant, at least in my case, I would feel like my bladder was super full and like it was gonna pee a lot, and then I would go to the bathroom, I would sit on the toilet, and then I would pee, and it would be like two little dribbles, two little chorritos, and I would be like, you got me up at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning just for this? Like, why? So week 11, we're continuing with being very emotional. I even wrote down, do I have prenatal depression? I was crying a lot, tired, not feeling equipped, didn't feel like I wanted to be pregnant. I was worrying a lot. I felt like I had a lot of stress and anxiety. I was having like back pain and like neck and like shoulder pain to the point to where I could like barely even like move my neck. And my hubby was having to do like a lot of massages and do like hot packs and everything because it was really painful. But I think it had to do with just the stress of everything and the move and just like all of the changes kind of just all hit me at once. So I think it mainly had to do with that. So week 12, last week, I put extremely depressed, sad, crying every day. And then I put this week was a blur. So I'm sorry I don't have a lot for that week, but yes, pregnancy is hard. I had to change locations because the sun is dropping just a little bit. But anyway, so that is my first trimester symptoms recap. I hope this little video helps make you feel a little bit better in case you're questioning if anybody else had these type of symptoms. I honestly feel super blessed, and I feel so lucky that I didn't really have to deal with the nausea or the vomiting. I was worried because my mom told me that she had really bad nausea and vomiting, and that my grandma had really bad nausea and vomiting. And my mom's, both of her pregnancies with me and my brother were really like traumatic for her. Like traumatic as like where she almost like died giving birth to both of us. So yeah, I had a little bit of that fear. But thankfully, I don't know, I guess I'm taking over maybe my dad's side of the family. I don't know. I'm just feeling so grateful and so thankful that I'm finally in the second trimester. What was I gonna say? Brain fog. That's something that started in my second trimester, so we're not gonna add that in the first trimester. That's gonna be for a second trimester update. This is all I have for you guys. That was my little first trimester update in regards to my symptoms. I hope it's something that you guys can relate to. I hope it's something that brings you a little bit comfort, knowing that you're not alone and that, you know, maybe we've shared some symptoms, or maybe I had symptoms you don't, and vice versa. If you want to chat about it in the comments down below, I am more than happy to. So put it in the comments and I will be happy to chat with you about that. It's always so nice to be able to talk to other moms about symptoms that they're having and just their experience in general. Anyways, amigas, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate you guys and your time. Besitos. Bye.